biochar. So, I don't know if you come here, you may be familiar with biochar. But basically, that is taking wood or manure products and burning it without oxygen at like 550 degrees C with call it pyrolysis. So this is about 40 to 80% carbon. So NRCS is real interested in promoting this as a soil amendment to build up carbon. So very high rate of carbon. Another thing it does, so this is funded 3 different projects with NRCS. It's part of the Climate Smart project where we're using it on soybeans down in South Texas, Arkansas, and Missouri to help build carbon, more resilient drought systems, increase infiltration, water capture, those type of things. And then the 2 projects with NRCS and working with Stephenville is working with dairy manure. So the idea is that this gray biochar has been enriched with calcium. So the idea is that we're trying to reduce phosphorus leaching, phosphorus runoff, those type of things. So some of these plots will have dairy manure and then you apply biochar over the top. And then there's some plots that will have a black biochar, and that's just a raw wood biochar. So calcium enhanced, it'll capture more phosphorus in water sensitive watersheds like down in Uchee-Spavinal in Oklahoma. And then as you get down in Texas, the Bosque River watershed, where phosphorus is really a sensitive issue, using biochar. Now, biochar has been around a long time, but it's kind of, just kind of like cover crops have been around a long time. But this is with Climate Smart funding through farm bills, and this is a soil amendment that's kind of received a renewed interest. One question is, how realistic is it to apply biochar on a field scale, or something that y'all, a producer may want to do? And there are some larger biochar producing facilities. They're kind of scattered out. I think the largest things we're doing now is applying on about 10 acres that's way down by Westlaco actually, but about 4 to 5 tons per acre. So we can deliver about 50 tons to the field. But this is something we're working with NRCS on to develop conservation practice standards, maybe a new code for carbon heavy soil amendments. So this is just a biochar. So the idea is of nutrient retention, increased infiltration. If somebody's interested in carbon credits, then this may be something that you could add to build up soil carbon along with other practices. So we're looking at this coupled with crop rotations, high residue crops. Down in Stephenville, looking at corn, sorghum systems. Here we're looking at wheat and Bermuda systems. And since this is such a high carbon product, the question is, does that tie up other nutrients? So does it tie up too much phosphorus? Does it tie up some of your micronutrients like calcium, magnesium, those type of things? So we're looking at the impact of biochar on nutrient cycling, how it may or may not impact forage yields, crop yields. And on wheat, we're doing that over at Lockett. We really see no impact on yields with that. So just the initial things on water infiltration. So these are rainfall simulators that we use. We apply about 3 inches of rain per hour is the delivery rate out of these. And we have a few control plots like this one behind me. That'd be no manure, no biochar. So we get runoff in about 5 minutes on those plots. The biochar, and when we have manure, it's about 15 to 20 minutes before we get runoff. So that just shows how you kind of capturing more of the moisture, trapping that in. And then our runoff rates are about 50% lower where we have manure and biochar.
You get water wells over here, or you get the rainwater?
Water.
Yeah, so we have a water trailer. So we either, usually we use either filtered water or we'll use city water. So for this project, we went and we use city electric water because it has low nutrient content. Like we use Burton well water, we have a nitrate problem, right? So we're looking at 10 ppm nitrate. So we usually use city water that will have low nutrients, and I guess I could have left the whole setup out there, but yeah, we pump water in, 1,600 gallon tank, no good bringing it out here. And we did this, I think last week, and we'll come back early October, do it again, and then we'll come back next spring and do it another time to see the legacy effects, and then we'll be testing soil carbon, things like that. So something that you probably don't hear a lot about, biochar, or commercially available at this point, but it's something that NRCS is really interested in developing a conservation practice standard for biochar, and really interested in it as a carbon amendment. And with the, you hear a lot about carbon credits. So this may be something, not necessarily on carbon credits, because it's probably not going to make money. Poncho can tell us otherwise on carbon credits, but this would be one of those practices of where you come in and it's, okay, is this something I could use to look at carbon? But not really carbon credits, just overall soil health is the 3 projects that I'm working on. It's really what our interest is in. So everything, as y'all know, is focused around carbon, and this is just one way of increasing what we have in the soil. So anyway, any questions on biochar in general?
I have a question for you.
Okay.
From the time of application, how much time do you see a reaction to your crop?
Okay, so the
on
question,
normal rainfall, whatever.
yeah, so the question was, once this is applied, how long does it take before we see a reaction to the crop? So like in year 1, when we come in and look at soil carbon, we see the soil carbon impact increase anywhere from, just looking at data last night, from 35 to 70% increase in carbon. Now what we haven't seen is an impact on crop yields, and that'd be forage yields, sorghum, corn, wheat, and Bermuda grass. And that's what we want to see, because the fear is this going to tie up some other things in your soil and hurt your plant nutrition? We haven't seen that yet, so that's the positive. But most people want to till this in, and that's what they've done in Stephenville, because it's such a light product. It blows away. Everything I've done up here in Vernon has been no-till, so I want to see, if you're tilling it in, you kind of defeated the purpose of going no-till and those type of things. So I see, it's very stable, doesn't go away. Where we applied this 3 years ago over at Lockett, you can still see some of it on the surface. So it's very resistant product. But yes.
Go ahead. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
How often do you water? Or how you know when to water?
For just general production, or for?
Either way, just how often do you water, or how do you know when to water?
Well.
Just take a look, see if you got water, if you wash the leaves.
Right. I mean, you have the luxury of irrigation, which most of you don't. So this is, other than when we do a runoff event, this is dry land. So we're not out here watering. So we did one rainfall event, 3 inches per hour. So we probably put 2 inches of water, and you can see what a difference 2 inches of water makes when you haven't got rain in 3 months, right? You can see everything greening up. And so, yeah, under irrigation, it shouldn't change due to the product. You may get by with reducing irrigation rates just because you're increasing water holding capacity, those type of things. So on dry land, what we hope to see is that we're making it more resilient, because we're increasing the carbon and we're capturing more water, we're holding more water in place. Poncho.
Do we know yet how many tons of carbon can we sequestrate?
The sequestration rate?
Sequestration, how many tons can these soils sequestrate potentially?
Yeah, so the question was, how much carbon can we sequester? Potentially. Yeah, that's and being a clay loam soil, that's less than if you're on the sandy loam soil or the change. You can sequester more in carbon, but it's just there. Yeah, that's what we're trying to figure out, and if there's a plateau out there. And as I say, in the last 3 years, we've seen up to 75% increase in carbon. So the question is, how much higher can we go? We really don't know. I have a good answer for you. That's why we're doing
One more question for you.
Okay.
On the application of carbon, once you put it down, and if it gets, like I said, you see a reaction to and then you like this, then we're going to severe drought. Is there any side effects from that standpoint on the application?
So the question was, if you apply this and then there's a severe drought, is there any consequence of having excess carbon, or this project in general, biochar, in the system? The idea is that it should not affect anything. The idea is that it's actually going to make that system more resilient and make it a little bit more drought resistant. So, I mean, as you all well know, you get to a point, doesn't matter how resilient you think your system is, there's a cutoff there at some point, but it should not hinder anything as far as an adverse effect. And that's one of the things we're looking at while we're looking at crop yields, because that is often a question.
When did you apply this?
So this was applied about 3 weeks ago. And
The material was applied 3 weeks ago?
Material was applied 3 weeks ago, maybe 2.5 weeks ago. I think we rained on this last Wednesday. So a week ago yesterday, we did rain simulations, runoff studies, and we applied the previous Wednesday. So we're about a little over 16 days, I guess.
Question?
Question?
How much carbon do you apply? How much you put on each block?
Okay, so how much carbon is the question? So we applied about 5 tons of material.
For this plot, one plot?
Well, per acre, 5 tons per acre.
Okay.
So this is equivalent to 5 tons per acre rate. And then I was looking last night at the carbon percentage, and it was 60% carbon. So somebody can do the math in their head real quick. Tell you pound-wise of how much carbon you're applying there.